Is this the first video? Maybe. I mean, it's the first like full-time video, you know, the introduction. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have a lot of energy because like you were talking about yourself. This though, way more comfortable talking about. So, we got vowels. This is for Old Norse, by the way, Old Norse, because today is my Old Norse day, so I'm just gonna do Old Norse. All right, we got vowels, beautiful, beautiful vowels. We have short, long, and then the short, long, well that's weird, and the special ones. The special ones, you'll see what I mean. We have them in English, depending on your accent. It's just they're special in the sense that the way they're written down is kind of special. But they represent very common sounds. So we have our short vowels. I. Actually, let me get this a little bit closer so you can see that. All right. Here we go. I, E, A, O, U, U. That's a Y. Yep, that's not a very nice Y, but it's a Y. So, interesting sounds here would be U. It's the Y sound. Best way to describe the Y sound would be like you're gonna say ew. I know some people say ew. Just kind of depends on how you say it, but ew. That's like the best way to describe it. You kind of hold it on the ew part. So you have e, ew, wa, ew. You see that? You see that? Like flows nicely, and then you break the flow, and then you just hold on the ew. Ew. And then eventually you just say ew. That's why. Ew. Ew. So we have E, A, O, U, U. Pretty simple. Then we have our long, which the long, you're not gonna believe this. You just hold it longer. It's long. E, A, O, U, U. That's long. Very nice. Then you have special. And they're special, again, because the way you write them, not necessarily sound that. So this is what we call ash. A-E, ligature, I just call it ash. A-E makes this thing, makes the ah sound, like an apple, or an asir. That's a common word. Then we have these here, O/ and OE. This is just a shorter OE, and this is just a longer O/. So this sound here is the O sound, but then you add a little bit of an E to it. So it's like, you put your tongue forward, O, O, O. It's kind of the best way to describe that. It's, sound. Kind of like you're groaning. It's just like, ugh, disgusting. Long, and this is O with tail. Some people call it O caldata. O with tail works too. Whatever else you can think of to remember this letter. This sound is interesting. We do have it. Makes the O sound. Now, for me, when I pronounce it, I tend to have more of an U than an ah. You'll see what I mean. You see what I mean in a moment. So, you take your U sound and you take your ah sound. Ooh, kind of like that. Ooh, ooh. That's kind of the best way to describe that. Ooh. It's the ooh sound, like in ur or ool, arrow or ale. That's how you describe those sounds. So again, these are our vowels. Let's do a quick review. This time, why don't you go and try just a little bit. Try it yourself. If you need to play back, please, go ahead. Then, of course, we're special. there you go. And then just to it's like a little bit of a, I can't think of the word. Anyway, I'm just gonna repeat them for you so that you know, just so you can double check yourself. I, E, A, O, U, U. I, E, A, O, U, U. A, E, O. Now, I know it sounds like it's nitpicking, but long vowels are incredibly important. For example, the sentence, war, helder kalt, means our spring was rather cold. Now, war is our, war is spring, and war is was. Now, war and war, those are the same. Spring and was are the same in this case. War is our. The only distinguishing factor is the long A, for the most part. There is a double R in our, so you'd say, actually, well no, it would be, because spring is neuter. I think spring is neuter, so it would be wart, war, helder kalt. Our spring was rather cold. So, pretty interesting. Yes, it's very important. I know it's kind of down, because for us English people, we don't have vowel length necessarily. I mean, I can't think of an example where we do have vowel length. If you think of one, please post in the comments. I mean, I would actually be mind blown if you could find one, because I don't know, I can't think of a single one. Anyway, that's what I'll share with you on vowels. Next, we're gonna go over consonants. Consonants are equally as important as vowels, though a lot simpler, thankfully. Okay, so for consonants, we have, the red would be our normal ones. They're the same for us. We have d, g, h, k, l, n, t, x. Now, for the x, I would do a k. Make sure you have a retracted s. K. So I guess it's kind of different. I should have probably put it over here, but k. Like in the word öksel, shoulder. O slash, which we just learned about, O slash XL. Öksel means shoulder. I believe it's feminine too, öksel. Next we have these blue consonants. These ones are letters we recognize, but they don't represent the same sounds. So we have ba, fa, fa. So I guess with the B and the P, I wasn't quite sure if I should include these or not, because I guess it kind of depends on how you pronounce it. Like for me, ba, I kind of curl my bottom lip up against my top teeth, ba, to make a b sound, like in butler, something like that. But for them, it was all lips, ba, as well as the P, and the F. Like you're blowing out hot air is the best way to describe the F. That's the best way to describe it. I'll do it later. So we have B, F. J is not J. It's not J like in just. It's actually Ya like in yet. Ya. Ya. It is Ya. So we have B, F, Ya, P, R. Not, you don't roll your R's, you trill your R's. Trill. R, r, r. It's like 2 or 3 taps. Trill. That's all it is. Trill. Trill. There we go. Like in the word, I'm trying to think of a common one. Oh, okay. Most people, if they know, like Old Norse, usually they know drengar, which just means courageous or bold. It's a very high title for very accomplished men and women. Drengar. Usually men though. So, anyway. Drengar. S is retracted. So it's not sa, like a hissing snake, but it's more like a whispering snail. A whispering snail. It's more like a sha, like in a, it's more like a sha, but it's not quite a sha. It's just a little bit before sha. So you have like s, sh, 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 something like that. Okay, and then V. Now, depending on who you are, You can say a v, or you can say a va, which would be a voiced F. So it's v. Now for me, I distinguish between v and va. So take the word, one second, actually, let me write this down. Okay, so we have, I should put this in different order. So we have Führer, Führer, Führer. That means before, for. Anything with for, really, is what Führer means. Then we have of. I don't know why. I just blow more air through it. And I thought I don't know. I just make the distinction between it. I don't know if it's, God telling me that there was a distinction between them. I don't know. I just kind of do. I pray to God that I can match pronunciation as best I can, just as the Vikings did in their time. Or, just as good as they did in their time. So, for me, I take it as divinely guided, that it's of, Führer, and then the V is a va, is a wa. Not a wa, but a wa. Like you're holding a U sound, ooh, but then you're also blowing air, so now it's ooh, ooh, something like that. That way you have some kind of a fricative in there, ooh. So we have, now this word does contain a special letter that we don't know. We'll get to that in a moment. So we have Walfúður. Now we did learn about that vowel, u, Walfúður. That just means father of the slain. Wal is the first part of Valkyrie, which I unfortunately just forgot how to say the word, but it's in my head. I can see it in my head, but it's there. All right, moving on from there. Also, notice how I said fóður. It is a compound word. Compound words will take time. It'll take time to recognize when you're seeing a compound versus a full word. And honestly, I haven't spent a lot of time either with compounds. And usually they're pretty easy to recognize, but like if you don't know that val is a root, then you're gonna probably say walvulur. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm sure that if they were talking fast, the F would probably become a little bit voiced. Walvulur. I have no problem with that. Whatever you want to say, I say it with a f because it's a compound word, so I do that. All right, now let's get on to these two special letters that, believe it or not, we actually used to have. This is thorn, so it makes the TH sound like an thorn. That's an easy one to remember, and I wish eth were a little bit easier to remember, but that's its name, eth. So it makes the sound like in the, or then, or eth. Just that the sound. It's a voiced thorn. The. And I guess one good skill that's like pretty important to have is being able to do voicing on command. I think is an excellent skill. So you can just go from that's great, or something like that. Voicing is just important to do in any case, really. But I think it's good to be able to do that on command. All right, let's think of some words to use these. Ooh. Oh, I got it. I got one. This is a good one. Here. This one actually uses both. Thjóð. Oh, okay, it's either thjóð or thjóður. That's something you need to know right now. All right, here's the word. O, long O, not short O. Thjóð. Now here's something that's very important to understand. Thorn always comes at the beginning of words. Eth always comes at the middle or end of words. So you cannot have thorn where an ed is, and you cannot have an ed where a thorn is. That's very important to understand. So for an Old Norse speaker, the would be incredibly confusing because they have no idea how you're putting a the at the beginning of a word when it should be a th, like in th, or thin, or thick, which, believe it or not, are pretty similar in Old Norse too. So, thjóð. It's very important. Those are all the consonants, actually. And with that, this video is done explaining how you're supposed to pronounce Old Norse words. I might do a reading at some point in time, but yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah.